Okay, today we're going to be making laksa, as was requested. So with the laksa, it's a coconut-based sauce, and we can make it mild or hot. It's usually traditionally fairly hot and quite soupy, quite liquidy. So with this dish in particular, you'll need to make your base or your soup base before you actually use it. I find too with all curries, if you make them sort of a day before in the morning and let them sit, the flavour tends to intensify. You'll also find with any of the coconut dishes, if you let it sit and cool down, the coconut milk will actually thicken up again. So you might need to add water to it or make it a little bit more runny. The difference between your red curry, green curry, Penang curry, etc., those coconut bases, they're a lot thicker and they have a lot less water. With the laksa, we're looking for more of a soup consistency. So we're using anywhere from half to 3/4 water. Whereas with the curries we use only a tiny little bit of water and keep it nice and thick and mainly filled with coconut. So here are the ingredients. It's quite complex. There's a long list of ingredients. So what we're going to do today is initially we start to fry all of our pastes off first. This cooks out the paste and makes sure we get the most out of the flavour. So the first thing we're going to put in is just some oil. This is just some rice bran oil, and that's going to allow us to fry the ingredients. You can use any oil, that'll be fine. Now, we tend to use here the May Ploy curry paste, which you can find in most Asian grocers. They tend to be really good quality. They're really reasonably priced as well. Now, what we do with the laksa is we use a mixture, half yellow and half red curry paste. Now, the difference between these two pastes is red curry is actually made with red chilies. So this is the spicy one. This is the hottest of all the curry pastes. So if you wanted to make a milder curry, you could actually just use slightly less red and use more yellow. Yellow doesn't have any chili in it whatsoever. It's just made purely with spices. Now, most curry pastes also have shrimp paste in there, so they're not appropriate for vegans. The red curry does have shrimp paste. The yellow curry is the only curry paste in this range that actually doesn't contain any animal products, any shrimp paste. So you can actually, if you're wanting to make this for vegans, you could just use straight yellow. That would be the way to do it. Okay, so we're first going to put in about a tablespoon of our yellow curry paste, together with a tablespoon of our red curry paste. We've also got here some palm sugar. So palm sugar normally comes in a disc. You'll need to put about a tablespoon. We're making a very small quantity. Usually we make very much larger ones. The palm sugar it won't make it overly sweet. It'll just take the edge off. So you're not looking for a lot of palm sugar. We're also putting in our dry curry powder. Now we buy in the Bubba's. It's a Malaysian curry powder specifically for meat. It's a vegan curry powder. But it has a beautiful spice flavour that we like to use here. So we add that in as well. We've got a couple of frozen lime leaves, just kaffir lime leaves. They give it that nice citrus zest. And we've also got about a tablespoon of fish sauce. So we use this, the Thai fish sauce. Now again, if you wanted to avoid using an animal-based product, at this point I'd just use a Thai soy, and if you wanted to make a vegan version you could, because really the fish sauce is just adding a saltiness. That's all it's being used for, so it doesn't need to be an animal product. Okay, so with this we bring onto the heat. We've got it on a nice high flame, and all we're doing with this is cooking it out, bringing it to the boil and simmering it. It's really important to cook this out. And what you should be smelling now is a mixture of obviously curry paste, but also the fish sauce is becoming quite prominent. Not the most pleasant of smells, but does taste good. So as you can see, it's becoming one paste quite easily now. And you can see it's just simmering quite nicely now.
beautiful smell. Now we add the curry powder because that also helps give it that strong yellow flavour or colour that you get when you see a laksa. Quite distinct from the other curries. So normally I'd cook this out for a good sort of good 5 minutes, but today, just for the purposes of the cooking demo, we'll make it a little bit quicker and we'll just add our coconut milk straight away. So with the coconut milks, you'll find there's a lot of different types. Again, with the May Ploy, I find that this one is actually probably the thickest one and about the best quality. This is the one the Thailand chefs tend to use. And it does come from Thailand. The thicker it is, sometimes the more you might need to add some water to it. So always use a spatula and get the most out of it. Come in, so we just scrape it out and make sure we get the most of it. And what I like to do now is actually fill the can up with water. You need to add water, and this will actually bring out the rest of the coconut milk that's left around. We utilise all of it. Okay, so we'll have a full can of coconut milk and a full can of water, and minus a lid. Okay, now as you can see, this is quite pale, and as this comes to the boil and starts to cook down, you'll actually see that it'll become thicker, richer, and that yellow colour will actually come out a little bit more. Now keep in mind, with a laksa, like with any cooking, you can adjust the recipe to your needs. If you wanted more curry powder, if you wanted it to be more spicy, you could add chili. If you want, you could add more red curry paste to it. You can cook it vegan. You could add more or less lime leaves as well. The lime leaves will bring up that extra citronous flavour through it. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave this now. We're going to move over to one that we've prepared before. So this is what your end product should look like. As you can see, it's quite liquidy, so and quite yellow. So once you've got your base made, you could make it straight away, but as I said, it is nice if you've made it the day before or in the morning and let it sit, as the flavours will come out. So all we do with this, you can put it, we'll obviously use the woks, which you can use, or you can just use it in a pot at home, it doesn't matter. The ingredients we've got here, we've got some chopped up Maryland chicken. Again, this can be made with anything. You can put seafood through this, you can put tofu, keep it vegetarian. Chicken's obviously the most popular. You can put fish cakes, anything you like. We've got some bok choy, and I've actually got some silver beet that's cut up. It's in season at the moment, so we've decided to use those. There's no real rules. Again, you can add in anything. This is what we tend to use. Turning on helps. Okay, so we're just going to let that come to the boil. Obviously with our woks, with the intense heat, it's going to cook up very quickly. So while we're doing that, we can actually get our noodles ready. So with the noodles, traditionally with a laksa, you can use a Hokkien noodle, which is the yellow, thick wheat noodle. Some people think it's an egg noodle, but it's just yellow colouring that they put through it. In Cheap Kitchen here, we like to keep everything gluten-free, so we use just straight rice noodles. This is your Kong Moon rice stick, the vermicelli noodle, 100% rice. So we will just be using that. This one has been soaked for a couple of hours in cold water and then drained off. So all you do when you're making your laksa is you can sit it in some water just for about 10 seconds, drain it off, and that's done. If you don't have any water handy, you can actually just put the noodles because the laksa broth will actually cook them. So we just have them ready to go. So all we want from this is to bring it to the boil and make sure everything's cooked in. This is one dish that you can make at home really easily, and you'll make it as good as we can make it here because the heat doesn't affect the quality of the outcome. So feel free to try this one at home. Make sure everything's cooked out. And that should be ready to go. So this will look quite familiar once we put it in the, serve it up and put it in the wok, in the bowl. Out of the wok, in the bowl. It's taking shape nicely. Now, all we do to finish it, these are just bean shoots that have been soaked in water and a couple of spring onion pieces, and they just sit on top. And that's as easy as it is. So keeping in mind, this is one that you can definitely make at home. You can also, this, once you've made the batch up, the sauce up, this will actually keep for a good 2 weeks. So even if you made up a big batch and had it over a week and a half to 2 weeks, you could have little portions as you go. So don't be afraid to cook up a larger portion and use it over a period of time. Okay, we'll tune in for the next one. We'll be doing a char kway teow, and hope your laksa works out well. Thanks.